to get the positive aspects into the new year, because it's been difficult for all of us in one way or another. So we're going to be looking at the present moment, obviously the present as in different aspects of the present, which I'm sure you're going to enjoy and you will chuckle at, but it'll give you a new positive way to look at the new year, with regards bringing 2022 in. So we're also going to be talking about the acceptance and bring gratitude in as well, as I always do, because it is so important. So let's just bring on the first. So habits. What are habits? Well, it's if we repeat something. I'm just going to go briefly over a few things, just very, very quickly. It's a habit. Habit is a repetition of a thought within your mind, or something that goes through your thought process, or even a physical maneuver that you make, and we create a belief about it, and that can be a positive or negative, as we know. Now, what we want to be doing as we bring the new year in is to create good habits, and important to honour you within those new habits that you're creating. So it's about being aware of what you're actually doing, and just stopping in the moment and just saying, actually, I want to create change here. I want to create a different belief about this, or I want to create a different situation around this. And just acknowledging it, just like using acceptance, when we accept where we are, is the release and the key to letting that go and creating change. So what can we aim for? What are the positive aspects that we can aim for with regarding changing habits and how we think about different situations? So create an absorption of positive awareness. So be around positivity. Put yourself in a place of positive, whether it's even if you're watching things on the TV, watch positive things that make you laugh. Bringing relaxation into the body, and using statements or positive affirmations that can help bring you back into the now moment. Now, you want to be disassociating from negative situations, and obviously, like we've just said, watch positive things on the TV. Obviously, avoid watching things like the news, because the news can be very detrimental to us and drag us down. So just make a decision maybe to no longer watch the news, and just know that somebody will let you know if something's going on that you need to know, that you're just focusing in that positive way, using those statements and changing to focusing on a positive aspect of your life, laughter, enjoyment, whether it be mixing with people or your family, having conversations on the telephone, or even watching TV. Change what you watch. And if we visualize, we've spoken about visualization before when we've spoken about mindfulness and meditation, and we've done meditation sessions. It's so important with visualization to create new programs and habits, because the subconscious mind doesn't understand the difference between reality or whether you're thinking it. So if you're thinking something in your mind, it believes it to be true, it believes it to be in reality. So repetition, when you're in a state of relaxation, or even just repeating positive statements or positive, I like to use the word statements. I just want to add this bit here, because sometimes it's like when we say, oh, be positive all the time, sometimes people get fed up of just saying be positive. And affirmations sometimes has been worn out a little bit, I think. So sometimes just making a statement to ourselves, because it's basically a sentence, isn't it? So sometimes changing it to statement rather than affirmation can actually be helpful for people. Repetition is the key, obviously. And when we're in that state of making a statement to create positive change, to create a new habit, to create a new belief, we're able to access our neural networks without us realizing, and the neurons and within our brain, and the subconscious can actually create that change within that habit to allow it to basically say, well, we no longer need that habit anymore. If you're doing something in a specific way that you think, oh, actually, I don't like doing this in this way anymore, whether it be something that you think about or whether it be actual or physical aspect, just acknowledging it and saying, no, I want to change this. can actually create that change, and making positive statements as you do can actually create that to take place within your subconscious mind. And if you practice it, as we said before, practice, 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 and just keep going over it, that change can take place. But it can also allow us to stay in the now moment as well, because we're aware of what we're actually doing at that point in time. We're actually almost assessing what we're actually doing. Are we happy with that situation? So, present to self. This is part of what I'd like to give you, as I'm going to do a take-home tip at the end, but it's so important to take time out for you. Now, present to yourself is really, let's think about Christmas. We've just had Christmas. We all had some lovely, wonderful presents off people, I'm sure. Lovely gifts, lovely, thoughtful things. But did you actually take time out to treat yourself to a present for you? Because that's not necessarily what people do. They tend to, oh yes, we'll give that present and we'll do this for this person. But did you actually take time out to honour your space, to treat you, to give yourself a gift from you? And there's a lot of people who say, well, actually, no, I didn't do that because I don't do that. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. So a present can be a gift in respect you go out for a walk. Now, it doesn't have to cost anything necessarily. It can actually just be an honouring that space for you. That's your gift to you, to honour your space, to treat you, to be in that present moment. It doesn't cost anything to be out in nature. It's all about the mindset with regards to, are you going to take time out for yourself to go and just actually honouring your space for you and being there for you, to create that gift to you, that space, honouring that time, because it is a gift and it is a present moment, but it's also a present to yourself because you're honouring that within you. And we all forget to do that. We're all very busy about looking after everybody else, and we must look after ourselves. As we know, when we look after ourselves, it overflows into everybody else and we're in a much better space. So it is all about changing our mindset around that. So if we go on to acceptance again, and I always put this one in, this is just one of mine that I always put in. So acceptance, when we accept where we are, it allows us space to move forward. It is usually the unlocking of a situation within our mind, because what we do is we take the pressure off it, don't we? We accept it for what it is. When we actually take a step back, sometimes it's not as bad as it seems. When we accept something, we instantly change our perspective on it. So it is the key to letting go. So if you accept, such, for instance, if you're regarding difficult situations, or if you're experiencing pain or emotional pain, acknowledge that within yourself. Okay, this is how I'm feeling right now, but it's okay. And this soon will pass. Acceptance is the key to letting go. It also helps release guilt as well. So if you're feeling guilty about being there for you, because a lot of people do, and I know my mum always used to be one for that, so she always used to put everybody else first. Being there for you, releasing that guilt of being there for you, accept that, okay, this is how I'm feeling at the moment, but you know what, this is my space, this is my time to refresh me. And it allows that instant release, allowing us to move forward much easier. We are allowed space and we are allowed that reset to move forward. So how can we use this together? So I've put a few little things together that we've just spoke about. So obviously the first thing is to accept where you are, accept the situation, whether it's a situation within family or difficult situations at work or at home. Is it pain? Is it emotional pain? Whatever it be, bring in the breath. Now with the breath, we will do this in the meditation shortly. don't tend to focus so much on specific ways of breathing, because I like people to go with their natural breath, their natural way of breathing. So obviously we aim to take a nice deep breath in and we take a longer deep breath out. But I never sort of time it for people with these different breathing techniques. I like to aim, when I do my hypnotherapy sessions, I always focus specifically on allowing that person to do their own breath that's comfortable for them in their own timing, because we're all different. You know, 1 second for one person is different for another. So trying to make somebody do it for a count and then out for a count, it can be a little bit of pressure on somebody. They've got to keep up, or they're lagging behind. It puts pressure, it stresses them out. So when you're focusing on your breath, I always advise people, avoid trying to follow a breathing technique necessarily, but just follow your breath, what feels right for you. That's always my guidance. And I always find with clients and people who I speak to, it creates a much more calming situation, a much more relaxing place for you, because you're coming from your natural ability of your own breath, in your own timing, in your own rhythm for you. And it's so important to do that. Once you've connected with your breath, make a positive statement or affirmation. Notice I've used positive statement again. Affirmation, yes, if that works for you, that's great. A statement is an affirmation. Making an actual statement is an affirmation. I like to use the statement because I do feel affirmation's got a bit of a negative aspect to it, because it feels almost like, before you've even started, oh, I've got to say that affirmation over and over again. It's an effort. It creates an effort around that. So we make statements. I'm making statements now by speaking to you over here. So maybe try experimenting and using, I'm going to make a positive statement. Don't even have to use the word positive. I'm just making a nice statement. I'm just making a statement to myself regarding this habit. I'm just making a statement to myself to create change in this area of my life. So you could stay all sorts of positive statements. I'm going to give some suggestions regarding our present moment and our present to ourselves in a moment. As you are focusing on your acceptance, bringing in your breath, a positive statement or affirmation, that's where you want to replace that negative thinking with self-compassion. Give yourself some self-compassion. Be compassionate to yourself. You're doing absolutely fine. Don't beat yourself up about what can and can't do. Just enjoy the moment. And even if it's just taking a relax out for the day, honor that within you, honor that space. This is my day today to chill out. And this is my present to me today, that I'm going to have this relax today. This is for me today. Now, you could, if you wanted to, make a point of having a present once a week, where you set yourself time aside for you each week. Maybe there's a certain time of the day that you want to do it every day. That would be amazing if you can do it every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Maybe it's once a month that you want to do this specific present. Maybe it's you like to go out shopping and you want to go and treat yourself to it, or maybe just going and having a lovely cup of herbal tea in a coffee shop somewhere. That's your present moment. Whatever it may be, maybe you want to go out and treat yourself to a scarf or some new socks, whatever it may be, that's your present to you. I'm just using anything and everything to give you the example there. So let's move on to the next one. So the take-home tips. What we want to be doing is give yourself that time, like we've just said, which can be nature. Maybe you book yourself in for a lovely massage. Maybe it's a relaxing therapy. Maybe even the session today is your treat today, to zoom in and enjoy the sessions at 12 p.m. on a Tuesday. That's your time out to just sit back and listen and just enjoy knowing that other people are enjoying the conversation. Maybe it's the shopping trip. once a month or once a week. May you treat yourself to maybe your favorite, your favorite food or a favorite item. Maybe it's just stepping out your front door and just enjoying nature and breathing in the fresh air, whatever it may be. Use your breath to realign, stop and take that deep breath. And obviously you've got to bring that acceptance in. So just create a circle of acceptance, bringing in the breath, connecting in with the present moment, and then bringing in your positive statement or your positive affirmation. Rotate it, just keep it going in that moment so it brings you back into that moment. So what I'd like you to do is a little take-home tip, and we will be open for a few questions in a moment if anybody wants to suggest anything, if anybody's got any ideas or wants to mention anything with what we've spoken about today. Because it is about creating a habit around anything, isn't it? And a habit can be anything. It can be we're in a habit when we come down the stairs to put the kettle on in the morning. We don't even think about it. But some habits we've got are quite detrimental to us. So it's just acknowledging them. It's that acceptance. Okay, well, I'll do that way. Let's see what I can change about this. And it can be about anything and everything. And you can then realign and change all the way you're thinking about your present moment, your present to yourself, however way you look at it. It basically opens it up into all areas of your life, and you can use it in all aspects of your life, this little routine, to create positive change for the new year, to bring it in. And make a conscious effort to use that breath along with that working with the acceptance. And then obviously, this is how I feel about this. So let's think about some positive statements that we could make. I honour my space for me. I honour my space for me. And actually, as you say, actually honour it. Take yourself away from it. I honour my space for me. And actually mean it from the deepest part of you. Taking time out refreshes me. Taking time out refreshes me. You may want to write these down as we're saying them, and we'll have a chat, see if anybody can come up with any more in a moment. I enjoy my space. I enjoy my space. Just now, I'm just repeating them just so you get the feel of them. I enjoy my space. And as you say that, even just placing your hand on your chest there also gives that breath of fresh air within you. It's like honouring that within you, within your heart. My present feels good and calming to me. Now that present could be a present, but it could be a present moment. Depends how you look at it. It's all about the aspect, it's all about the mindset. My present feels good and calming for me. And I honour that within me. I savour my present. I savour my present. And just note, I mean, even if some of you want to try that, just say that within your mind now. And just put your hand on your chest. Just notice what it feels like saying, I savour my present. And it's that at the moment, it's our present moment because we're together, we're having this conversation. I savour my present moment. And really honour that within you. Really notice how that feels when you do that. It does make a difference when you place your hand there. Even just bringing your hands up to your heart. Even give yourself a big hug at that moment, because it's so important to be there for ourselves. And especially when we start in a new year, we can get into January is not necessarily a favourable month for a lot of people, is it? So if we can kick that off and start to say, well, actually, no, let's look at how we can change some of it. Let's use January to think about what we want to change. What do we want to change this year? What do I do that I'm not necessarily, what do I do that I don't require anymore? Have a look at the different things you can utilise. So we'll be doing a meditation regarding releasing pain and emotional pain anyway shortly. So let's have a little bit of interaction for 5 minutes before we do our relax meditation that we've got for you today. Has anybody got any Any other suggestions with regarding a positive statement? What has that highlighted for people today? Has anybody got any suggestions?
I use every morning, I sit and look in the mirror and say, I am safe, I am loved, I am enough. And that just starts off the day in a positive way and makes me feel good, because it's not something I would have ever have done before.
Yeah, that's amazing, Hilary. Well done.
So that helps. That's
yeah,
my one.
Yeah. And do you find that that lifts your energy up as well? That sort of changes the way you feel in the morning?
It does. And I think because I think it sets you off in a positive way, and it helps create that calm space.
Yeah.
Just taking that, it only takes, I'd say it 10 times, so it doesn't take very long, but I try and make sure that that's all I'm thinking about when I say it. And there's a difference between just saying it in your head and actually looking at yourself in the mirror when you actually say it, because that's a strange thing to start off with. But when you can look at yourself and say, I am loved and I am safe and I am enough, you kind of slowly start to believe it. So
absolutely,
it does make a difference over time. It feels a bit weird to start off with, but the more you do it, the more easier and helpful it becomes.
And it's the more you say it, obviously that's creating a good habit for you, isn't it, as well? And obviously you're creating that acceptance for yourself, to accept yourself in that moment. Actually saying it out loud, quite rightly so. You know, I mean, another thing you could add to that with the mirror is obviously you say your positive statement to yourself in the morning, but also add to there, what present moments am I going to enjoy today? Or what can I enjoy today? What can I make my present moment today? What can I make my present today for me? So you could expand on that. With what we've spoken about today. What can my present be today for me? And use the word present in whether it's a time that you take out, as I say. Well, we've listed all the different aspects of present moment, present as in a physical thing, or present just being present, or just sitting still, whatever it be for you. What can I enjoy for what's my present? What can I look forward to in my present moment today? So that's a really good, you know, this using this word present is actually a positive, because there's so many aspects so many little routes you can go down regarding that. Has anybody else got any more ideas? Anything else?
I've got one. It's a bit different. I do in the morning say my positive statements, but I've started doing this new thing, which is what one of my friends suggested, where at the end of each day, I'll say 3 things really positive that had happened that day. Because I don't sleep very well. I've always been one of those that when my head hits the pillow, I'm wide awake thinking about all the things that have gone wrong, or where's my birth certificate, things that are completely irrelevant. So I've started doing that, where just before I go to sleep, I'll say 3 things that's really positive that's happened that day. And it means that I've started to notice now, the more that I've done it, that I'll fall asleep in a better mindset. I get a better night's sleep. And then when I wake up, I'm actually already in a positive mood. Whereas before I was falling asleep, you know, stressing about all these random things. And it meant that when I woke up in the morning, first thing I thought of was, right, last night I thought this, I need to get this done now. And it kind of helped, it kind of linked in then, for in the morning I was more positive to do my positive statement. And that's not something I'd ever done before. I've probably only done it for about 2 months, but I've noticed such a difference.
Yeah, it's like setting the groundwork ready for the next day, isn't it?
Yeah.
And another thing
I was going to say, instead of focusing on the stressful things that had happened, which is what I was often doing, leading to more moaning and being a bit more negative, I was starting then to focus on all the positive things. And then I was noticing through the day, if something positive happened, I'd kind of think, oh, I can think about this later, or, you know, write this bit down. And it kind of made me notice more positive things then.
Yeah. And it makes us, like we say, if we're not in that frame of mind, we miss things, don't we? It's almost like they fly past us. That we become, you know, if we focused in a negative way, we see more of the negative. But if we focused in a positive way, we see the positive. And we miss them. It's almost like we're giving off like that frequency to match up with those things that we're thinking about. But like you say, if you're doing that before you go to bed, you're setting that groundwork ready. It's like the old saying is, get your clothes ready the night before, ready for when you get up, because it takes all that stress off, doesn't it? So what am I going to wear this morning, you know, and you're rushing around, and that started your day off very negatively because you're panicking because you've got to find your socks and what you're putting on, and you're spending 10 minutes thinking about what you're going to wear. Whereas actually, if you place your clothes ready, I'm going to put these on tomorrow, and you place them nicely ready just to get out of bed and get them on in the morning, that actually is another aspect as well. It's the same type of thing. It's that preparation, and that in itself is a peaceful way to go to bed as well. It's because you feel like you're prepared for the morning before it's here. So it's putting all these little different tricks in place that allow you to move forward almost before you've even got there as well, because you're sort of setting the pace, aren't you, ahead of yourself ready. So thanks for sharing that, Emily. That's helpful. Now, has anybody got any other suggestions? And we'll start our relax in a moment.
I have something similar to Emily's. I use a happiness journal. Somebody actually gave me a book, and it's, you note down your 3 happiness.
Yeah.
So it's similar. I haven't ever started doing something in the morning, so I need to adopt something like that. Yeah.
I mean, what you could do there is do what Emily does and write down 3 things for positive from the day, and then start your day with positive ones at the top.
Yeah.
So you've got like a double whammy going on. Do you know what I mean? So you set yourself off with the day, and then you actually make a comment. Well, actually, this is what happened today. This was really good. I really enjoyed this conversation, or I really enjoyed just being peaceful. You know, whatever it may be. So you've got sort of an opening for the day, and obviously a closing for that day as well, and it overlaps, so you're creating that continuous flow. So that's brilliant. Yeah. Well done.
Hi Michelle, this is Sati here. Hi. I didn't put the video on because I'm looking a bit rough today. I'm still in bed actually, listening to this.
Okay.
One thing I've done for the last 5-6 years, and I've encouraged my children. My son is a bit reluctant to do it, but the girls have started doing it. So we tell everybody, our loved ones, our friends, we tell them, you know, I love you, but we rarely tell ourselves. So I made it a habit. Every time you pass a mirror, just look at yourself and just say, I love you.
Fantastic.
And if you can love yourself, then you're more prone for others to love you.
Absolutely.
We forget to love ourselves. We do everything for everybody else, but we forget, like you say, looking after yourself.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Just make it a little mental thing. Every time I pass a mirror or a window, just at your reflection, just say, I love you, and say it silently. Like, you don't have to say it out loud.
That's right, yeah.
You know, the girls said that, you know, they feel more confident in themselves when they've started doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. My mom and dad, I mean, I've always said I love you to my mom and dad, but specifically now, my mom and dad, every time we finish telephone conversation now, the last 2 years, because obviously we haven't seen them as much as we would, it's always like, love you loads, love you to bits, love you. Yeah. And you know, even now, my father-in-law, when he rang me last week, he started doing it now, because I've just said it to everybody now. I've got you, and it feels normal after a while, doesn't it? You don't feel, it feels awkward initially, but once you get into that habit, like you say, you can actually, and like Hilary said as well, you know, it feels uncomfortable initially, but once you get into the habit, it feels comfortable to you.
Definitely.
And it's getting it to that place of acceptance within you, isn't it?
Yeah, like I said, with your parents, because in Asian culture we don't tend to say I love you, and and parents don't say it to their children, children don't say it to the parents. But last time my mom was able to come and stay after in this COVID period, we got her, and she doesn't speak much English, but we got her to say I love you to the kids. And so every phone call I'll say I love you, and she goes loved you like back to me. But you know what, it's just a nice feeling. We know that they love us, but to actually say it is it's a whole new thing, you know.
That's right. Yeah, it
so,
is.
yeah, I
And
totally agree with you.
Yeah,
Like,
I totally agree, and I've experienced that in my family as well. Yeah, absolutely. And I say it to my boys as well. I've got 2 boys, and they both of them now are responding back. My older one always responded more so, but my younger one, he's very. You would think he would be the one, but he's it depends whether his friends are around him, I think.
I think so. With boys it's a bit different, and it's the age that they go through. When they're going through the adolescent age. My son was like, don't say I love you when I when I was just to drop him at school, but now he's matured and everything, that he's the one who says it first.
Absolutely.
So it's all comes with age and maturity.
It's all
like it's friends around.
It's all good. It's all good. It's
all good.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
So what we'll do now is we'll do a little meditation. So what I would like you to do is just to settle yourselves down, find a comfortable spot. And I just want you to, let's bring in our breath. So we were just talking about the breath, that I tend not to use any specific breathing techniques. I just like people just to connect in with their breath, just to become aware of their breath. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in, and just slowly, easily and gently just breathe out in your own time. There's no pressure. And I want you to breathe in your own space. There's no specific rhythm that you have to follow with me. Just use your breath in and out, and just allow your eyes to gently close as you breathe out. And just know that as you're breathing out, just releasing any concerns, any worries, any tension out through your mouth. Almost see that tension, that worry, any concerns, just releasing it out, almost like big bubbles just floating out as you breathe out. Any feelings of emotional pain, any awkwardness that's going on in your life now, just accept it. Just acknowledge within you, just say, okay, I know that you're there, but just, I know everything's fine, it's fine, everything is fine. And just allow yourself that release, that acceptance. Create that belief within your mind. And trust that you are allowed to let go. You are allowed, honour that within you. Honour that space, honour that present moment right now. As you just take this time to honour for you. And just to allow your breath to allow that deep connection to this present moment. And just accept within yourself and feel the gratitude for this moment. It's so nice to savor my present. Taking this time out refreshes me and resets me. I really enjoy my space. My present feels good and calming for me right now in this moment. As I focus on my breath, breathing in and gently and slowly releasing and breathing out, exhaling out. I feel that release, I feel that reset, I feel that acceptance. And I connect in with honouring me, that love that I have for me. And I honour and acknowledge that within me. Just honour this present moment right now. And as you work with that acceptance in a gentle, easy way, an easy flowing way, maybe it's almost like you can sense just flowing through a wonderful, bright, shimmering light that just releases all those emotions, those pent-up feelings, any awkwardness, any pain, any guilt, any shame that you've experienced over the last few days, weeks, months. To step through that shimmering wall of light, it's almost like it peels it away from your body. As you enjoy that breath in and out. That's right. And it just feels so good to connect with me. Say those words within your mind. It just feels so good to connect with me. As you honor that within you, speak within you, speak within yourself, to yourself, and acknowledge that acceptance, that gratitude, that present to yourself right now. It's so good to connect with me. And I honor this deep within me and in the coming days and weeks ahead. I enjoy and honor my space for me. That's right. And when you're ready, just make a few gentle movements as you honor this space within you. Just bring the movements back into your hands and your feet. And just give thanks for that space that you've experienced just within you, connecting deep within that part of you right now. Just have a moment. And while you're just bringing yourselves back into the present moment, we've been in the present, but we're still in the present. Thank you for coming to my session today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's all very quite simple, really, isn't it? But we don't tend to think about all these simple things in life, do we? But just give it a go. So, you know, work with that present moment. Give yourself that time and honor that present within you. Make sure you take time out to give yourself a present. Okay. My next session is on Tuesday, the 15th of February, and we'll be doing about sleep habits. So we'll be doing about sleep again. So I hope everybody's enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Feel very relaxed now.
Can I just ask, what did Emily say tomorrow's session was? I didn't catch it.
There's a tomorrow session, there's an evening session that we're trialing. So a lot of people have obviously been struggling with day sessions. So we're going to have a support group, which is at 7 p.m. And this just means it's more accessible for those who, you know, have work and other commitments during the day.
Yeah. So is it the same? It'll be the same link again.
There's a new sign up.
The Zoom link.
There's a new sign up, so I can send that over to you, Joy. I'll send that over on Facebook.
For every time, or just for the night? Just for the night ones, Emily.
Just for the night ones. Each of the ones on the timetable at the moment, which are obviously the 12 p.m. sessions, are all the same, and then just the evening ones. We just do a sign up just because obviously we're doing evening sessions, which takes up health practitioners after hours, so we do a bit of a different sign up.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Michelle, and thank you, everyone. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
See you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.